Hello students, myself Dinkar Satunkar again welcomes all of you in this new video of chapter motion of 9th class physics. Up till the last video we have studied about the various factors related with the motion of an object, and we have reached up to this point where we will try to understand the equations of motion, but these derivations of equations of motion but with the help of graphical method. So in one of the beginning videos I told you that the motion can also be described with the help of some equations. There are three popular equations of motion, and with the help of these three equations of motion, any motion of an object can be described in a numerical way or in a formula method. The motion of an object can be described. Now here, with the help of the graphical method, we will try to understand how these equations of motion can be derived with the help of the graphs. So in overall in these derivations of equations of motion, we will try to understand all these three equations of motion with three different types of graphs. Although these graphs, you very well acquainted with the all types of graphs, because in graphical representation I told you about the nature of the velocity time graph, the nature of position and time graph. Also the position and velocity graph also I have dealt in graphical representation of the motion. So here, in three ways, rather than saying three ways, we are going to determine these three equations of motion with the help of these graphical methods. Number one is equation for velocity and time relation. Second is nothing but equation for position and time relation, and third is nothing but equation for position and velocity relation. So in these three methods, or in these three graphical representation, we will try to understand. The first method will give us the first equation of motion, the second method will give us second equation of motion, and the third graph will give us the third equation of motion. So in this particular video I will be dealing about first two equations of motion, and remaining one equation of motion with the last part of the chapter, that is nothing but uniform circular motion, that I will deal in the next video. So let's start here to first derive the first two equations of motion with the help of graphical representation. So here, the first equation, we can call this as the first equation of motion as from the velocity time relation, or it is also as the velocity time relation, because this particular equation of motion gives us the relationship between velocity and time prominently. So that's why this particular equation of motion is also referred as the velocity time relation. Now here I have shown one graph over here, and this graph is in between velocity versus time graph. So we know the nature of velocity time graph. Suppose if an object performing some velocity, and that velocity is increasing with respect to time, then the graph will be represented with this velocity time graph as this particular curve, which represents the velocity which is increased from initial to the final position. So let's imagine from beginning the object is having some initial velocity u. So this particular initial velocity u I am representing with this particular point A on this y-axis, because y-axis refers to the velocity axis. So that's why I am representing this particular initial velocity as u, which is starting from this A point. So when the object moves in between 0 to t seconds, the object reached up to this point B, where this point B represents its final velocity on the y-axis. So here I am representing this particular object final velocity when it reaches a point when time t is been lapsed or time t is been completed. So at this particular point, when the object reaches up to this particular point, the final velocity of the object is nothing but v. So now, if u is the initial velocity of the object, b is the final velocity of the object, if I draw a perpendicular from this point B on this x-axis, so it will give me this particular time, and if I draw a perpendicular on y-axis, so this particular point will give me the final velocity, and the object starts from this particular point A. That's why this velocity at this point A will be initial velocity u. Now we know that we have studied in velocity time graph, the slope of velocity time graph gives us the acceleration. So here also, since this is a velocity time graph, the slope of this particular line AB will give me the acceleration. So this particular velocity time graph, I know that the slope of this velocity time graph gives me the acceleration. So now I would like to calculate here first the slope of this particular line, so that that particular slope will give me the acceleration. Now few adjustments I will do over here. What I will do, I will just draw a line from this point A which is perpendicular to on this particular line BE. So I have two shapes over here, geometrical shapes. One is nothing but this rectangular OACE, and second is nothing but this particular triangle ABC. So with the help of this particular shape, I would like to calculate the slope of this particular graph. I know that this particular graph is in between velocity and time. So if I draw the slope of this particular line, then definitely the slope of this particular line will give me the acceleration. So I can write here as acceleration is equals to slope of this particular line AB. Now how I can calculate the slope? Slope of AB will be nothing but this particular segment BC divided by this particular segment AC. So I have written here slope of AB is equals to BC divided by AC, or in other words I can write this as BC divided by, for this AC I can write CA also. So BC divided by CA or BC divided by AC is nothing but slope of this line. Now I have to see that first what exactly this BC includes in this velocity axis, and what this AC includes in this time axis. So if you look carefully, BC is nothing but this particular segment. If I extend this on the y-axis, so this will give me the difference between this final velocity and initial velocity. This particular segment BC, I can calculate it with the help of y-axis, that is nothing but v minus u, because u is the initial velocity, v is nothing but the final velocity. I want to calculate the difference in the velocity between this BC segment. So this BC segment is nothing but equals to AD, so that's why I can calculate this v minus u. So in place of this BC I can write v minus u, and this for AC I can calculate the time duration between this O to E. So initial time, the object started from this point O and reaches up to this particular point E when the time t has been completed. So total time required to reach up to this particular point E is nothing but t. So I can write that this acceleration A is equals to v minus u divided by t, which is the same formula that we have determined with the help of acceleration, because we know that acceleration is nothing but final velocity minus initial velocity divided by time. So here also acceleration is equals to v minus u divided by time. So I can write this equation, or if I rearrange this equation in such a way that I can get v minus u on one side and at on the other side. So I can get this as v minus u. If I cross multiply these two terms, then I can get v minus u is equals to at. Now if I transform this equation in exclusive term of velocity, then I can write v is equals to, if I take this u on this side, then this minus u will become as plus, so v is equals to u plus at. Now this particular equation is a very popular equation which is known as the first equation of motion, or the equation of motion which we very first derived. That's why this particular equation is called as the first equation of motion. So equation of motion, that this first equation of motion is derived with the help of velocity time relation. This can be determined with the help of this particular graphical representation, v is equals to u plus at. So this is about the first equation of motion. Let us try to calculate the second equation of motion with the help of graphical representation. Now for the second equation of motion also I will be requiring the same graph. Same situation is there. Imagine that the object is moving, the object has this particular velocity curve, that is nothing but AB. So now from this particular graph and this particular velocity time relation, I can determine the distance traveled by the object also, because we have seen in velocity time relation that with graphical representation of velocity time relation we can calculate the distance traveled by the object also. But what is the distance traveled by the object? The area under the curve, the area under this graph gives me the distance covered by that particular object. So if I join this particular A and O, and if I join this particular segment B and E, then I will get this particular shape OABEO. Now this particular shape is called as the trapezium. So if I succeeded in calculation of this particular area of this trapezium, then definitely this area will give me the distance traveled by this particular object. So from the same graph, now I have shaded this particular entire area, that is nothing but the area of the trapezium. So this particular area of the trapezium gives me the distance traveled by the object. So I can write here the distance traveled, which is represented by S. Distance traveled by object S is equals to area of the trapezium ABEO, that is nothing but ABEO. This is nothing but the trapezium. So how I can calculate the trapezium? There are two ways by which we can calculate the area under this curve, that is area of the trapezium. There is a direct formula for area of the trapezium, but at this moment I will not going to deal with the direct formula. In the next article we will be seeing that method also, with the help of which the area of the trapezium by direct formula of the area of the trapezium we can calculate. But if you look carefully this particular trapezium, then you will find that this trapezium ABEOA comprises of two geometrical shapes. One is nothing but this rectangle and second is nothing but this triangle. So if I individually calculate the area of this particular rectangle first, and if I calculate the area of the triangle, and if I add those areas, then definitely that will be the area of this trapezium. So how I can write it here as, so S is equals to, that is nothing but distance traveled by the object, that is nothing but area of the rectangle ACEO. ACEO is the rectangle, okay, plus area of the triangle ABC. ABC is nothing but this triangle. So I know that area of the rectangle, that is nothing but length into breadth, that is nothing but OE into OA. So OE into OA, this will give me the area of the rectangle ACEO. Now how I can calculate the area of the triangle? I know that area of the triangle is nothing but half into base into height. So I can write here as half into this particular BC and this particular base, that is nothing but AC. So half into base into height. Height is nothing but BC over here. So half multiplied by BC multiplied by AC is nothing but the area of the triangle. Now if you look carefully on this graphical representation in terms of velocity and time, I can write this OE. What is this OE? OE is nothing but the time from 0 to t. So the difference between the point E and O, I can take this as this particular segment OE. So t minus 0 will give me t. What is this OA? OA is nothing but the difference between this particular velocity u and this particular initial point. So I can write here as u minus 0 is nothing but u plus half. What is this BC? I can write this BC. BC is nothing but this particular point and this particular point. Difference between V and U will give me this particular BC. So magnitude of this velocity where this point is situated and magnitude of velocity where this point is situated give me the difference between BC. So I can write here as BC is nothing but V minus U. So here I can write V minus U. What is this AC? AC is nothing but again like this OE, it is nothing but the difference between 0 initial point and the point at C where the time t is there. So I can write there as AC is t minus 0, which is nothing but t. But I know that from this first equation of motion, from this particular equation, I know that V minus U is equals to AT, which this particular value of AT I am going to put in this particular place, V minus U. So by putting this V minus U is equals to AT at this position, I can get UT plus half. For this V minus U I can write AT multiplied by t as it is. So if I reshuffle this equation, rearranging this equation will give me distance traveled is nothing but S is equals to UT, this UT as it is, plus half into A into this t, and t will give me t square. So S is equals to UT plus half AT square. This is the very popular second equation of motion. So with these two representations I can get the two equations of motions, which is nothing but determination of equations of motion with the help of graphical representation. So first equation of motion I can determine with the help of this particular method, where v is equals to u plus at is the first equation of motion, and second is nothing but equation for position and time relation, which gives me the second equation of motion, that is s is equals to ut plus half at square. Thank you for watching this video. In the next video we will try to determine the third equation of motion along with the uniform circular motion. Thank you.